We're visiting now with Lindsay Kilpatrick, who is the 2009 Teacher of the Year for the Robles School District. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you teach, and what you teach.
I teach at Glenwood Elementary School in the Robles School District. I teach the 6th grade in a self-contained classroom, and I have 30 students. And our school is a very diverse population. Over 80% are on free and reduced lunch, so everyone comes with their own little background of information to share with us.
Mm-hmm. Tell us what that's like working in that kind of an environment.
I personally think it's fabulous. I love going to work every day. First and foremost, I think that sometimes there's challenges just because some of our kids are being raised by grandparents or extended family or their parents, and so sometimes they may not have had breakfast, and so we have make sure they have breakfast every day. And there's some challenges just meeting their needs because there's 30 kids in our classroom, and so each one has a little different something to share each day. And so they all bring something different to share with us, and it's really interesting because our school is so diverse that I think that it's hard sometimes to see the diversity because we share it so much. So it's not really seen as a problem, it's more like a motivation to do better.
Well, speaking of motivation, what do you do to motivate your students in your classroom? Anything special?
I personally have a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and I feel like I bring that to my students every day. I expect them to work hard, to perform, and to have a great deal of respect, and they also have to have a lot of cooperation with each other and teamwork. Our classroom works as a team, so it's pretty much run that way.
What about for those hard to motivate students? What kind of special things do you try to do to draw the student out and perform a little more?
I actually have several students sometimes each year who are a little bit more nervous about school, or maybe they're not quite sure about it, maybe they don't like it, so they are a little more unmotivated, as you said. I think that it's connecting with them and finding something that they like in order for them to enjoy school. School's all about making memories, and so part of my job is to help them make memories, whether or not that is helping them academically or socially. So academically, if they're not motivated, it may mean that they become my after-school best friend, and I sit with them and tutor them and help them with their homework until it's finished. Socially, it may mean helping them perfect their singing skills on stage at our version of American Idol, or participating in the donut eating contest at the Harvest Festival, or coaching soccer and just helping them gain a little more confidence on or off the field.
How long have you been teaching?
Over 7 years now.
Okay, and in that span of time, what have you seen change in education, whether it's in with the students or with yourself, or the things that you as a teacher have to face in the classroom?
I think that changes happen every day. I think that first and foremost, technology is a big piece that needs to be brought into the classroom a lot more, especially at our school has a lot of second language learners, and I think sometimes it's really important to have it visually shown through a PowerPoint or on the computer, where they can actually see a volcano erupting, or have the opportunity to do science labs where they get to dissect owl pellets or create waves and see how erosion occurs, and then when we go to science camp they actually can see that in action. So I think that there's a lot of changes that are going on, and number one I think is technology, and just having hands-on experiences are two things that really need to be in the classroom on a regular basis.
And what about new challenges for you that seem to pop up?
New challenges I think would be, first and foremost, I guess just trying to motivate them. Coming to school every day I think can be difficult for teachers. You have to be on your game, and you have to have energy and enthusiasm no matter what. And so I think that can be challenging for some teachers. One thing that I do every day is before they walk in, and even if they're not quite ready to come in, we all walk in. Every time they walk in, I say good morning to each one individually to make sure that they're ready and that they know that I'm there and that I care about them. I think it's hard for some teachers to really tell kids that they believe in them, but once they do that, whether it's saying good morning or making sure that you care about them, then they're willing to perform a little bit more.
Well, what is it that inspired you to be a teacher? What brought you to the profession?
I had really fabulous teachers growing up. I still remember in high school, I couldn't wait to go to Mr. March's social studies class because I just wanted to know what he was going to say or what he was going to do. I also had a teacher in junior high, Miss Harvey, who made math fun. And so even today, I still, every week, try to make sure that my math lessons are fun because so many kids don't really like math. So that's one subject that I really focus on. I also had really great role models as parents, and my aunts and my cousins, and so I try to really make sure that I'm a good positive role model for kids and really try to insist that they have good manners and they have respect and that they can be a better person, but that it's their choice.
Do you have teachers in your family?
Yes, I have a couple.
Okay, so they also served as some role models for you?
Yes, they all do. I feel like I learned a lot about myself and from other people. I always say I think I'm a little bit of everybody all rolled into one, and I think that kids need role models and they need opportunities to have people help them and take care of them, and whether that means sliding down the slide with them or going outside and playing Foursquare, I'll sign up and do that every day.
So do you find that there's success in the classroom if you build a relationship with the students and their families?
Yes, I think that's probably the most important thing in teaching, and I think that sometimes that gets lost. But making a connection with students and really finding a way to make that connection and have a relationship with that student is first and foremost the most important thing. Once they trust you, I think that they're more willing to learn. Making the relationship, though, can sometimes be difficult. It might mean changing the television station and watching Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Or if one student is all about video games, that means you learn a little bit about video games and you talk about it and try to get them aware that you're aware that they like that, and so you're going to foster that in them.
What about building relationships with the families, and how does that impact your job as a teacher?
Oh, that's huge. You need to have a connection with the family and really the community around you. You need to know that we have a neighborhood school, and so the community is huge. So one of the things that I do is I try to make positive phone calls at least once a day, even if it's just to say, hey, your child did your homework today. Thank you for helping them. They're awesome. Keep up the great work. Or whether or not it is telling them that through a newsletter, all the kids who turned in their homework, or hey, guess what? Layla made honor roll, so now she's a superstar in room 15. I think that they just need to know that, and also have events at our school that can bring the community to us so that the parents know that they're welcome and inviting, and our school is a safe place to really make a home for their kids.
What was your reaction when you learned that you were named Teacher of the Year for the Roebla District?
I was shocked. It's a big honor, and it's a very humbling experience. I just feel like there's so many great teachers that are really in our world that don't get the acknowledgement, and I think that for me it was just really great. We have so many great teachers at our school that I get to share it with all of them and all the teachers I had in the past, and also all the kids in my class are so excited. They just were really glad that they were in my class, and then me receiving the award just made it so much better.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to those people out there who are considering teaching as a career? What would you say to kind of convince them that this would be a good path for them to follow?
I think that we need great teachers. I also think that as a teacher you need to have a lot of energy because it can get very tiring. And I also think that people need to really go above and beyond their job. Academically, they need you to be their hero, their #1 fan, to make sure that they know that you care about them. But they also need to know that you can be a support person and that you can show up to coach soccer if that's your role. And going above and beyond the day is important. If that means staying late and calling every parent in your class, or making sure that their science lab is ready to go for tomorrow, or their math lab, or that all of the reading books are ready to go and their journals were read. It's a very long job, but I think that it's very important.
So it's the commitment beyond the classroom.
Correct. I think you have to be very hardworking. You have to have a very strong work ethic. You have to be committed to the kids because they're the ones that count. They're the ones that matter. They're the ones who need to know that you really, truly believe in them.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your time. Lindsay Kilpatrick is the Teacher of the Year for 2009 for the Roebla School District. Thanks for joining us.